Hello there, welcome to Talking Balearics with me, Martin Makepeace, in a very hot, sticky, sweaty, humid Ibiza.
And me, Richie Pryor, in exactly the same place, Mark.
It's hot, mate.
Being the master of doom and gloom, I'm ready now. I'm ready for tomorrow.
There you go, mate. There's mine. Look, there you go. Look, there you go.
I can't even get mine on. They're that cheap.
The problem is, mate, you can't see a thing when you put them on, can you?
You can't see an absolute dust. It's
a shock to me. Well,
anyway,
just to
BP specials.
Just to let you know, this is being recorded on Tuesday, the 11th of August, and on if you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock for the last year, especially if you listen to the Talking Balearics podcast, it is Eclipse Day tomorrow. Now, I've got a little confession, Rich.
Go on.
I'm a bit bored of it.
Oh,
no! You know something? I just hope it's good after all the build-up. You know, like after the Lord Mayor's show. Like yesterday, it was cloudy and rainy. We didn't even know about it, so I'm just petrified it's going to be cloudy and rainy tomorrow. So I'm not sure my anxiety can handle that.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Mark. I am not shocked, actually. It's probably not the right word, but the amount of people that are here just for the eclipse, you cannot believe. Palma today was absolutely mobbed with people.
You sure though, Rich? I mean, I'm not doubting.
Mate, I'm telling you.
I'm not doubting you, Rich. I
Okay,
never would, because I believe everything you say to me, always. But are they here for the eclipse, or is it just August?
No, on my life, and these were all Americans. In the last 3 days,
the Yanks love it. The Yanks love it, don't they? They really
the last 3 days, I've obviously done some work with some groups and everything, and every single one of them, I'm probably talking about, about 30 people, are all here for the eclipse. Some have been on eclipses in previous years. So this is their third eclipse. It's unbelievable. They're proper. They're proper here for it, and they're staying all over the island, and nobody's really sure. Obviously, what's going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. We talked that with Ollie obviously last week about road closure and everything else. Until the actual people start moving, nobody really knows what's going to happen.
Do you know what I mean, listen, you've obviously got all the anoraks in from around the world, because we've got the buzz over here, and I think it's a bit of a late starter because it's only been really being advertised by businesses in the last week or so. But I think everyone's just a little bit scared that it might be cloudy, Rich, to be honest. So anyway, listen.
I've checked the forecast. I think we're okay. At the moment it's good. Yeah.
I think we're okay. Anyway, listen, we did the eclipse last week, right?
All right.
So, and the feedback was good. Ollie came across very well, by the way, very well. I think we should get him on next time as well, shouldn't we, when we've got something else to talk about?
Well, we need to talk about something intelligent.
Well, what's the point of that? So listen, as much. I mean, a lot of our listeners won't. The clips will be gone by then, mate. So
a lot of our listeners aren't intelligent, is what you're trying to say? I mean, come on, don't dig your grave any.
No, I'm just saying that at the end of the day, I think the eclipse is done. I really hope it's good. But I want to go back to the normal Talking Balearics, if that's okay with you, Rich.
No problem.
You wanted to do another eclipse special, didn't you?
No, I did want to do an eclipse special. I said,
so just to let you know, Richie said, let's record on Thursday so we can talk about the eclipse. I'm like, Rich, I just want to get back to normal, Rich, if we can, mate.
But all right, let's put this into context. You did say, well, maybe if it's good, we might record a 15-minit segment.
Yeah, I did
say your
that.
Words.
No, exactly. And I think I'm going to take a couple of videos, and I'm going to, you know what it's like, mate. It might be a complete dud. But if it's incredible and one of the best nights ever, we'll do a special, shall we? Should we do a little 15-minute special?
Nah.
Listen, Rich, it's a bit like the old days when you're playing centre mid. You can even do it. You can perform for 15 minutes, can't you?
Exactly, mate.
It's just the 90 minutes that you struggle with. Listen, before we go any further, Rich, how is August treating you? Because I mean, we had, obviously this is our first real podcast for August, isn't it? Because last week was the eclipse, the week before was July. So, how are you feeling? What's the vibe, should I say, for August?
The vibe is a little bit quiet for some people. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Money is tight for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's one of my segments this week, mate. Yeah, good.
Yeah, money is tight for people. And,
well, not good, but yeah, you're saying the same things as we're hearing over here.
Yeah, and But people are still saying that obviously there are visitors here, without a doubt. There's people here. Do you know what I mean? It's the spending money that they have, I think, and they're obviously not staying for so long as well. The breaks are shorter.
That's well, you've just nicked one of my segments there, Rich.
So that's that done. Then that's good. That's shortened it down a bit.
Quite easy. It'll be the shortest one. After we've been bagging on for the last few weeks, we can do a short one for once, can't we? Anyway, this is Talking Balearics with myself, Martin Makepeace, and Richie Pryor in Mallorca. I'm obviously in Ibiza. What have you got for me this week, Rich?
Got a little bit of government news that I noticed. Actually, most of the stuff I have this week was from last week because I thought maybe we'd shoehorn a few things in, but we didn't get time, obviously, talking to Ollie. So, I've got a bit of government news.
Good.
Also, something that you actually sent to me, and I had it already had notification of the strike that we talked about 2 weeks ago. And also Palma Airport is coming to a bit of a, well, we know it's coming to a big change, of course, but it's come to a little bit more of a change that made me laugh just a little bit. So I thought I'd mention that, and a little bit around Mallorca news because the season kicks off this weekend, Mark.
Is it really already? Yeah, of course. It's the Segunda, isn't it? It's not the La Liga. Yeah. Okay, great, Rich. I look forward to that as always. I've got three things that are recurring in our podcast, Rich, and I think it's quite relevant for August as well. First of all, we've got campervans, which is a hot topic, which we've talked about a few times. The government trying to crack it down. We've got some results on that. Is it good? Is it bad? Let's wait and see. An interesting survey. I love a survey. I always talk about these surveys because getting feedback from the clients is where it's at. What's it called? What's the terminology for it, Rich? I'm trying to think what it's called. Market research. There you go. Market research.
Okay.
Couldn't think that for a minute. There is a reason why the big companies pay millions for market research, because basically it tells you what you need to know about the customer and what they're doing. So got some very interesting market research on hotels in Ibiza, which I thought was really quite surprising. And of course, what we just spoke about there again, the Restaurants Association. You talk about the Restaurants Association in New York quite a lot, don't you? And they've come out with a bit of a shocking report. I blogged about it last week, but it's come out again this week. I want to talk about it because it's probably my most read and most debated blog of the year so far. So it's obviously a topic that people want to talk about. So we'll go on to that as well. So anyway, crack us off, Rich.
Well, for people that don't know, we are governed by a coalition government here in the Balearics. It's the PP, which are the sort of centre-right party here, and Vox, which are the sort of far-right party in a coalition. And they've been in power just, was it 3 years? 3 years now, yeah.
It's a year to the elections.
Next year, exactly. Yeah. But the national government is looked after by the PSOE, which are the socialists, along with lots of very extreme left wingers, I would probably call them, people in the Catalonia area and in the north, in the Basque region as well. So not too much gets done between the governments. Let's put it like that.
There's no love lost between Sanchez and Prohens. Margaret Prohens, who is basically the president of the Balearic Council, and Pedro Sanchez, who's the prime minister.
Yeah, so people may or may not know this, but in August, the King and Queen come and stay in Mallorca for their summer holidays. The King, probably, from a royalty point of view, very, very popular amongst the Spaniards. Definitely, the King is always out and about. He's always out sailing. They always go out and about to eat in and around Porticholes quite a lot, and Palma as well. Letitia, of course, is loved by the family in a way that the Brits used to love Lady Di. I always think that, Rich. She's got a bit of Lady Di about her, hasn't she? Yeah. She dresses so elegantly. Yeah. She's well liked. I don't know anybody that doesn't really like Letitia. So
I've got to say as well, Rich, you're sorry to jump in, but the two daughters are really well spoken, well educated as well, aren't they?
That's true.
They're a real credit to them, because I was listening to them speak English the other day, and they speak perfect English.
That's
really
true.
Good way as well. So I know they're 18 and 19, aren't they, or 17 and 18? So they're only young ladies, aren't they?
So they stay at the Marivent Palace, which is a palace just outside of Palma. They have when they have dinners for dignitaries, they go to the Almudena Palace, which is the palace right by the cathedral, and they sort of welcome the great and the good of Mallorca. And I imagine the Balearics as well. I don't really know, but I know the great and the good of Mallorca are always invited to sort of have drinks and tapas with the king and queen. But interestingly enough, Marga Prohens, our president, met with Pedro Sanchez on one of the occasions in the last couple of weeks. And Prohens said at the end, as usual, no progress or any new developments.
Yeah, no, I saw
Marvelous.
that. Funny, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's
Rich,
great, isn't it?
Just out of interest, mate, have you been invited for dinner at the palace yet? Because if not, I want to know
Mate,
why.
No, and I'm seriously wondering why. European Citizen of the Year, surely should get an invite. No?
You're our man in Mallorca, pal. I mean, come on,
exactly.
You need to be
What's
there.
going on?
The thing is, I'm just worried you're going your old Adidas T-shirt and your Adidas Gazelles. That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah. I don't have. Listen, I'm doing a very, very big corporate tour at the beginning of September. I said to my wife, "What am I going to wear?"
Rich, listen, next.eu, get on there. You can buy a suit for about 130 euros.
Oh, okay. I'll have a look. Next.eu.
They do oversized.
All right, Mark. All right. Well. Calm down, Fred.
Listen, quick one, Rich. Those two palaces in Palma, they belong to the state, I presume, and they're there just purely for the royal family. Is that correct?
Yeah, they do open them up to the public at certain times.
Yeah,
I think the Mar event opens sometime in I think it's late autumn. Getting into the winter, and the Almudena Palace the same. As far as I'm aware, I've never been to either of them, and I really should, to be perfectly honest. Given the chance. Yeah. I've been to the nice fish restaurant opposite the Marivan Palace. I can tell you that. That won't surprise you.
That doesn't surprise you. In the least surprising news this week.
Exactly.
But you've got to admit, though, Rich, talking about the royal family, and it's a really good point that you make, saying that the royals are very. They're low key in Spain, aren't they? So they're not
much so.
Not like the UK, where they're in the they're in the papers, but they're not. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, normally in the papers for good reasons.
Yeah, for good reasons. The Spanish press don't technically try and drag up dirt about them at all. There's a few little skirmishes sometimes. Well, but you've got to say that for Mallorca, the brand, the royal family's an unbelievable. Ambassador for the brand of Mallorca, isn't it? Just like Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, this are all of them. But I mean, this is the King and Queen of Spain who go there every year.
Exactly, yeah, and as I say, he's out sailing pretty much every day. Yeah. That's his big.
He's Olympic sailor as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's his big passion. Yeah. So, and as I say, they're always out eating in resorts, and just very, very popular and very, very nice. But it's frustrating the news that from Prohens, as usual, no progress on any new developments. So let's see what happens next year in the elections.
I mean, you talk about it most weeks, Rich, because it's worth going on again. I mean, it would be like Labour government and a Conservative council, isn't it? And they're just so far away from what they want on immigration. I think immigration was the big one, wasn't it? Also,
totally.
Also, like the environment as well. So they're really far apart, and it's not good for Balearics because we are actually lagging behind a little bit when it comes to certain things, aren't we?
Yeah, totally. I mean, obviously we saw this problem on the news with Ceuta, of course, which is the North African enclave, which is still under our ownership. And the nearest, the nearest place actually to Ceuta is probably Ibiza or Formentera, actually, the Mallorca. Yeah. But she governs for the Balearics, and that was one of her concerns. She says they need help on immigration, and the Spanish government.
It's a crisis, mate. It's a complete crisis. I mean,
it is in the UK, as we know. But
we're a small island, Rich. The UK's got 60 million people there. We're an island of less than 1.5 million people.
And because Spain is so far removed, as in the mainland are so far removed from where we are, then to them it's not a problem. And obviously he has created this moratorium for people. 500,000 illegal immigrants could actually sign up to become legal as long as they can prove that they spent a year in the country.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Listen, I don't want to go into that, mate. But I mean, that's literally opened the doors to it, hasn't it? It really has. And just one thing, Rich, can I just tell you, it's Ceuta, okay?
Oh, Ceuta, not Ceuta.
No, it's Ceuta. Yeah, there you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome, mate.
Every day's a school day.
Well, you've only been in Ibiza, so you've only been in Mallorca 36 years, so why would you know that anyway? So
exactly. It's another country to me.
Rich, campervans, we were talking about. I mean, do you have the same problem in Mallorca?
Definitely. Everywhere you look.
Yeah, okay,
everywhere
yeah.
you look.
I actually saw a documentary on it not so long ago as well about the guy who I think he lived there with his mum. It was in Mallorca, just off a motorway, which I thought was pretty stark. Now, you know that the Ibiza government have really cracked down on camper vans.
Mm-hmm.
What we had with the housing crisis is we've got people living everywhere in camper vans, basically. But there's two distinctive things here, Rich. It's people who live on the island who are residents, so to speak, per se, and they live in a camper van. But it's also tourists bringing over. So we've got the existing camper vans, and that's a problem we're going to have to probably look at later. But this is the camper vans arriving on the island, and the crackdown looks like it's really worked, Rich, because now if you bring a camper van over, you have to have somewhere to stay. You have to pay a tax. It's basically really heavily policed. Now, the figures are out, Rich. In May and June, because obviously we're just collating the July and August, not August, but the July data. But in May and June of 2026 this year, 308 camper vans arrived in Ibiza during May and June this year. Now, compare that with May and June in 2024, 2 years ago, which was 1,264. Wow. So we're getting nearly an 80% reduction, Rich. So, if you think about that, basically at the end of the day, there's only 200 campsites for camper vans, only 200 places, should I say, or spaces. So realistically, if you're coming in a camper van and you haven't reserved a space, where are you going to go? I mean, there's fines all over the place. And at the end of the day, I think, I wouldn't say they've got a hold of all of it, but we're definitely moving in the right direction. It's simple as that. Also,
that directive, sorry, Mark, does that directive come from Ibiza and their council, or because obviously we're Balearic run, so something that Mallorca probably needs to look at. Then.
Yeah. I think again, Rich, I'm not saying that we've kind of one ahead of you, but it's something that Ibiza have just really got hold of, and I don't hear it from you guys very much. I know it happens over there, but you don't seem to talk about it as much as we do. What I think, Rich, is you're so big that you can swallow it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't agree, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're right.
I just don't think it's as stark as it is over here that is over there. Also, Rich, the cars. Remember, we talk about the cars. There's now a limit. 21,537 cars arrived in June as well. So that's 13% fewer than 2 years as well. Okay. So again, we're moving in the right direction. I don't think the system is perfect, but I think we're moving in the right direction. And there's a good little thing to say, isn't it? What do you call that anyway?
Pun?
Yeah, pun. Yeah, good. Yeah, we'll have that pun. You're full of them. And,
totally, as always.
Puntastic, mate.
Exactly.
So we're moving in the right direction. So, at the end of the day, if you are bringing a camper van over, you're going to have to pay the tax. You're going to have a parking space. So I'm all for it. So a little bit of good news.
So something we were going to talk about last week, Mark, obviously, but we were talking about the eclipse instead. The airport strike by the baggage handlers of Swissport could have affected particularly people that were travelling with TUI from the UK. It got called off at the last minute. August the 4th, it was supposed to happen. It did get called off right at the last minute, which is a good thing. I think we did touch on it the week before to say that these things normally get called off at the last minute because obviously it's very, very important that people's holidays aren't ruined right at the beginning. And pleased to say that we're now on August the 11th and things seem to be running okay at the airport without any further, what I'm hearing, I haven't heard anything about any further action to be taken by those Swissport baggage handlers. So that's good news.
I had some friends in Palma who came to Mallorca this week, Rich. They're usually Ibiza people. They've gone to Mallorca for a change, and they were telling me how good Palma Airport was, especially because, again, let's go back to what we talk about always, which is the digital ID, the digital fingerprint. They said basically when they come to Ibiza, they have to do the same thing over and over again, but because they've got it in the system, they were just put through into a different queue, and they went straight through. They said it took several minutes rather than tens and tens of minutes. So obviously Palma Airport have just got it sussed, haven't they?
But as I say, I haven't actually travelled since all this has come in. To be honest with you, we're obviously treated slightly different because we're residents here in the Balearics, so it's slightly different for us. But anybody travelled, I haven't heard any what I call horror stories as yet of people being told they're going to have to wait 2 or 3 hours at the airport. Yeah, obviously that could come in the month of August. We
are in the month of Augurt, Rich, just to let you know.
No, I said that could come in the next 2 or 3 weeks when we're really busy. Do you know what I mean?
Got it, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, keep up. But apart from that, All good so far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Palma, one of the busiest airports in Spain, isn't it? It must be absolutely chock-a-block there at this time of year, Rich.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously with this eclipse happening tomorrow, as I say, I've never known, I was in Palma this morning and this afternoon, never known Palma so busy. Everybody was commenting how busy it was and obviously how hot it is as well, which is really probably not actually helping, to be perfectly honest. You would rather it would be a little bit cooler.
It's ridiculously warm at the moment, Rich. It really is. I mean, I spend most of the day in my air-conditioned home office, so I mean, when I go out, it's a real surprise. But Rich, something that we talk about a lot is the gentrification of our islands. I think Formentera was there a long time ago, even though they're probably still playing catch up because it's such a luxury place anyway. Menorca probably a touch behind Ibiza and Mallorca, but you know, you've gone 5-star, haven't you? Really, all the way, 4s and 5 stars. I think. Didn't you tell me Calvia's got more 4s and 5s now than anywhere else?
80%, more or less.
80%, yeah. Ibiza's the same, Rich. You know, hotels now that open are all 4 stars or 5 stars. You know, you don't get any 1-star apart hotels open anymore, Rich, do you? Let's face it.
Oh, more the pity, Mark. More the pity.
the good old days.
And then the good old hotel changes. You must remember those.
Can you remember that? You know, the rubbishy little kind of kitchenette, which with the hot plate that didn't work, and you know all that stuff. It's and you tried to make a cup of tea, it didn't work in that apart hotel. But there's been a really fascinating survey this week. Market research just said before, where they were asking about the satisfaction of people in hotels. And this might surprise you, Rich, because obviously we've gone ultra 5-star or ultra luxury, should say, to the 5 stars and the 4 stars. So the guest satisfaction survey went as follows. In 5th, with 67%, is 5-star hotels, believe it or not, satisfaction. 4th, with 70% satisfaction, is 3-star hotels. 3rd, with 78.4% satisfaction, is 4-star hotels. And 2nd, with 80.7% satisfaction, is 1-star hotels. We love a 1-star hotel, by the way. I always love 1-star hotel. And the top hotel for satisfaction in Ibiza is a 2-star hotel with 84.2%. So, I think what that tells us is, although we've gone to this constant upsurge to 5-star hotels, people don't necessarily like 5-star hotels. I think they pay more, Rich. They're
finding more problems,
finding more things to moan about, aren't they?
Definitely.
And here's another interesting fact from the market research about Ibiza. They asked the people, what is the most important thing to your hotel? And top was, what do you think, Rich? Top was?
The top what for thing?
What was the most important thing about your hotel? What was the top answer? It came in at 93.5% said that this was the most important thing about their hotel.
I don't know, closeness to the beach?
Well, yeah, not bad. Location. Exactly that. Location. 2nd was cleanliness. 3rd was service. 4th was food. And the 5th most important thing, Rich, was the room. They didn't. So, all these people are paying so much money for these hotels that they actually don't really care about the room, Rich. They want to be close to the action. They want to be, have good service there as well. And the good news is that San Antonio came out on top in the survey as well, because the average hotel price for San Antonio at the moment, well, this is last month, was 120 euros per person per night, whereas San Juan in the north was 236 euros per person per night as well. So at the end of the day, we've got higher prices, we've got more exclusive experiences, but it doesn't seem to mean that expensive is necessarily better. I think that's the whole point of it as well. And I think at the end of the day, what we can say, even when they're building the 4 and 5 stars, what clients or guests are looking for is good location, clean rooms, and good service. And more, and this is a real important thing, Rich, I think as well. If you look at people unhappy with 5-star hotels, they're looking for value for money. I think that's the most important thing. I think I'm a little bit like you. I don't mind paying several hundred euros for a night at a hotel. I don't want to do it, but I don't mind paying it. And I've paid 50 euros for a night at a hotel. But what you're looking for is you want what you pay for. So if you pay for a super luxury hotel, then you want a super luxury hotel. You don't want just a, fur coat and no knickers, do you? Which I've heard it
interesting
described
analogy, particularly when you're talking to 5-star hotels.
Yeah, exactly. But what what you find, Rich, what happened was a lot of these hotels, they were 3-star kind of Fiesta hotels or 3-star bog standard. You know, they put an IKEA wardrobe in, painted the rooms, put a LED light in, and went up to 4-star or 5-star. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, that's what I'd say, all for fur coat and no knickers. So, you know, interesting there. And they're increasingly online, there's a lot of pushback about expensive Ibiza, which I'll go through in the next segment. And I just thought this was a really interesting segue, because all I'm hearing at the moment is how expensive it is, how expensive it is. And actually, this just backs up that people don't really want the expense. They just want value for money.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting stuff.
Yeah,
there.
no, I like that one. And I've got something about the expensive Ibiza, which I'll use in my next segment, which I'm writing a blog about at the moment, which is, I think, will just annoy more people than it pleases. But I mean, that's
you're used to that.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the whole point, isn't it?
Exactly. I just wanted to touch on this because I laughed when I saw this story. I thought, I've got to tell Martin this. I don't know if you know that we talked about Palma Airport. I didn't even know it's actually been renamed. Did you know that?
Oh, so it is now the Rafa Nadal Airport. Oh, fantastic, Rich. We got there in the end. No, it's not.
No. So
it's not.
Palma,
it's not some. Hold on, Rich. It's not some non-entity politician that no one's ever heard of by any chance, is it?
Well, he's named the Ministry of Transport and Sustainability and Mobility. His name is Oscar Puente. Is that Oscar Fuente, not Puente? Is it Fuente or Puente? My eyes are used. It is Oscar Puente.
Get your gaffers on, mate. Get
Oscar Bridge.
On.
Oscar Bridge to his friends.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the. Apparently they've renamed the airport. Yeah, and you're right. It should definitely, without a doubt, be called the Rafa Nadal International Airport of Mallorca or something of that ilk. Yeah, whichever way around you want to put it. But has actually been renamed. It was called the Palma de Mallorca Airport, but it now will be officially known as Palma Mallorca Airport. So they've dropped the DE. It's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, who came up with that?
Oh, what is
the point?
Who's their public relations person here? I mean, he's absolutely busy.
Unbelievable.
But you know what?
Unbelievable.
What it is, Rich, it just shows you about the endemic system over here, where it's so heavily involved with politics and bureaucracy that they feel that they have to name airports after non-entity politicians that no one ever heard about. And let's face it, no one cares about. I mean, you did a great segment before. Was it John Lennon? It was JFK, Ronald Reagan. You know,
the George Best Airport in Ireland.
Listen, as a football fanatic, what a great name that is. And you know, they've got to name it Rafa Nadal, hasn't it? They've got to. Come on, Mallorca. But it's going to make a massive difference now. So it's not Palma de Mallorca; it's just Palma Mallorca now.
Palma Mallorca Airport rather than Palma de Mallorca Airport.
Okay, right. That's going to change things, isn't it?
And we wonder where our tax money's going.
I know exactly where it's going, Rich. down the Swanee,
exactly.
That's where it's going, pal.
Exactly.
You know, the Restaurant Association, Rich, you did a good segment a few weeks ago, didn't you? I think maybe a long time ago now. It all gels into one, to be honest. But I think we did it in the winter, where the Restaurant Association, they're very outspoken, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I don't think they actually genuinely reflect everything on the island, but they do seem to just touch a nerve now and again. And I think what they're saying is basically, you know, the local restaurants are struggling. That's what they're saying, you know. And I think that's the bottom line. And, you know, they've come up with another report in Ibiza, and what they're saying now is that basically 70% of businesses in Ibiza are seeing a fall in sales. And some businesses are reporting a downturn of up to 20%. So now, exactly what you said on the intro there, what you find is that customers, the bottom line is, Rich, customers are spending less money when they come here. Now, the report says that Ibiza is so expensive now to get to. The flights are expensive, the hotels are expensive, that people want to come to Ibiza, but when they come to Ibiza, they haven't got the money like they had before, because it used to be the reverse, didn't it? You get a cheap flight over, you stay in a cheap accommodation, a bed and breakfast or whatever, and you'd spunk all your money on going out to clubs and restaurants, wouldn't you?
For a week. Stiff by your rep, don't you, Mark?
Well, you'd obviously book the block in the first hour of being there while you're still half asleep.
Yeah.
Just imagine, we used to sell a block of excursion for 150 quid. I mean, that doesn't even get you a meal nowadays, mate.
It's true.
You know?
It's true.
So the feedback is basically, you know, what you said before, Rich, as well. People are coming over for less nights. Don't forget, the average stay in Ibiza now is 3 nights. Yeah, in fact, I think it's a touch under 3 nights. It's like 2.8 nights now, whereas it used to be 7. So people are coming. So either they're coming for 4 nights, they're only eating out for 2 nights, and rather than the £100 lunch, they're going for something cheaper. So I think that the bottom line, Rich, is that the local businesses, and we say this all the time, the second and third line local businesses, which is your genuine chicken and chips for a tenner or 15 quid or whatever, they're just being squeezed because, one, people haven't got time to go there. And 2, it's not on Instagram and it doesn't look sexy and they can't take a picture of it and they can't put it on their socials.
True.
Right? And, at the end of the day, the good old local businesses is falling down the pecking order for the big, the big super clubs and the big restaurants. And, I went to a new restaurant in Ibiza town not so long ago called Street XO. A guy, I think he's called Munoz. I can't remember his first name is. He's a 2-star Michelin chef. Fantastic. I've got to say, Rich, it was fantastic. It was really, really good. It was in Playa Bossa, near the Site Hotel or the Bless Hotel, I think that used to be a Schweier Tower. It was excellent. And I mean, it wasn't cheap, maybe 120 a head, something like that. But I've got to say, the food was good, the service was good. But people are going to these places now, but they're only going twice, and they're not going to the, when we used to have chicken and chips next to the fountains for a £5, mate, or 1,000 pesetas. Those days are gone, Rich, I'm afraid. And I mean, if it happens a little bit, then that's okay. But what they're saying it's happening whole scale across the board. So it's not just a few people doing it; it's everybody doing it. And the restaurant association are really flagging it up. And brings me on to my next point there, Rich, because all I keep hearing about at the moment is how expensive Ibiza is. So I'm just doing a blog, which I said to you before, which I'm going to prove that Ibiza is not not expensive. No, sorry, the word was greedy, Rich. Yeah. So the feedback was that businesses are being greedy. Okay. So I'm going to push back against that. I mean, what's greed and what's maximizing profit, Rich? It's as I say in my blog post, if you can get €20, why would you charge €10? So, isn't that the basics of business? So we're going to do a bit of pushback about the greed of Ibiza. However, the Restaurant Association is flagging up some alarming details.
This weekend, March starts the season, the La Liga High Promotion, I think it's called.
It is, man.
Which is a Segunda División, as we know it. Mallorca got relegated last year. So Mallorca start at home against Real Valladolid. It's a 9:30 kickoff.
I'm worried about your Spanish pronunciation here, Rich. I mean, you mean talking Valladolid? Is that what you're talking about?
Valladolid.
Valladolid. Used to be owned by Ronaldo, didn't it? Valladolid, I think.
Oh, did it? I didn't know that.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, I think they have their kit by Reebok as well, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, anyway,
friends of yours, are they?
Yeah, well, I don't want to say I did the deal, but I may have had a hand in that deal. But
so Mallorca have had a good pre-season, unbeaten. They played a German team with the life. I wouldn't be able to pronounce it even if it was in front of me. Drew 1-1. And a German team that just got promoted into the Bundesliga, and they obviously beat Paris Saint-Germain by 3 goals to 0.
I thought you might be leading with that this week, Richard.
Well, second string, really, to be honest. You say, I don't want to shout out too much, but Mallorca did play very well.
Kvaratskhelia was playing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was about the only one that I can recognise, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, it's been a good pre-season for Mallorca, and from their bank balance as well. The amount of players they've sold and the money that they brought in is, I think someone told me it was in the region between 60 and 70 million euros worth of players that they've sold over the course of this season so far. They've brought in players as well. They brought in sort of more second division experienced players, which is what was needed. Unfortunately, Vahili left to go and play for Club Bruges over in Belgium the other day. He was the only one out of all of them I would have liked to have stayed, but he decided that he wants to go.
Very good. He's
obviously been offered Champions League football, so it's an option, a good option for him. But other than that, Mallorca go in with their bank balance very full, and let's see what happens. They've got nearly 20,000 season ticket holders, which I think is a fantastic amount already.
Will they go though, Rich?
Will they go? This is the question mark.
Because you mentioned it last week, but I was thinking you sold 20,000. I mean, I bought a season ticket at Udi Ibiza when they were in the second string, and I didn't go at all, Rich. But I thought I'm going to buy it and support the club.
Yeah, I will go. Listen, Mark, I probably won't go to every game. I mean, it's a good example. For Paris Saint-Germain, I think it was about 17,500 turned up. And then for the German team, which was on, what day was it? Last Saturday, sorry. less than 5,000 turned up.
Yeah.
So,
it's a nice little friendly for away day, isn't it? Mallorca.
Well,
it's not bad, is it? Mallorca in July and August. It's not a little away day, isn't it?
Exactly. So let's see. I mean, I imagine Mallorca one of the favourites to go back up again.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Rich. What's your prediction? I mean, bear in mind, it's worth saying that. I mean, you said about the Segunda hypermotion. I mean, I love all that stuff, but it's worth saying that it's basically the Spanish version of the Championship, isn't it?
No, totally, and it's it's there's a lot of sort of what I call teams that are on a par with each other, if the truth be known.
It's the same as a Championship, Rich. It's, as I know, it's tough to get out of as well, isn't it? So
it is definitely, and it works the same as the Championship as well. So you two go up, and then the next four go to a playoff. Although actually the Championship's changed,
7 now, yeah, 7.
Now, yeah. So it's made even more now. So
there's hope for us.
There's hope for Derby, yeah.
No.
I heard. What happened to Turkey Al Sheikh, Mark? Have you put did you put your word in and go, that's it, he's over, mate?
I put a counter offer in, and I think I scared him off. No, we're not happy, Rich, because he's come out with the most ridiculous statement saying something about the transfer window, and he wanted to get on with it. And we were like, hold on a minute. It should have been a long-term project, shouldn't it? You're there. You should be committed to the club, but no, it stinks. I think I think Derby have dodged a bullet there, Rich, to be honest. So I wouldn't say I'm pleased, but I'm not unhappy.
Mm-hmm. A quick shout out to my son who played for Tercera RFEF, Playas de Calvia, against Atletico Balearics, Segunda RFEF, on a grass pitch. He's never played on a grass pitch, my son, before. So Atletico Balearics pitched last weekend. They drew 1-1, which is a good result for them. Obviously, it's a league above them. And Atletico Balearics are the second professional team here on the island. It was just a friendly, but it wasn't much of a friendly, to be perfectly honest. The old tackles were flying, and it was good. But it was nice to see my son playing football again. He's not played for 3 years.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. Great to see him as well. Yeah, I mean, my son's still injured, unfortunately, Richie. A year later, he's still injured on his quad. So, but he's trying to get back in, and he's got a good team behind him. I'm glad you said that, Rich, because a quick shout out to 3 San Antonio boys as well, who all made their debuts, because we had a local derby on, when was it, the other night? It was CD Ibiza versus UD Ibiza. SD Ibiza, they've changed their name now, SD Ibiza versus UD Ibiza. And Jose Bonet plays for SD. Kanai is just signed for SD as well, so he's got his first professional contract.
Okay, well done him.
And Sergio Beltran, who, again, another guy from San Antonio, played for UD Ibiza, but he's part of the B team, but because obviously the players were still away, so he got promoted to. But it was great to see 3 San Antonio players make their professional debut. So fantastic, mate. So
well done, them.
There's obviously a pyramid there, and it works, doesn't it, mate? It really does.
No, definitely. We had 2 players who played with my son, actually, in San Francisco. I can't remember his first name. I know his dad, Orihuela, who's a left back, and also Mark Domenech. Mark Domenech is back from, he was at your place in, how do you pronounce it? Sueta, whatever it's called.
Ceuta, mate.
Ceuta. Yeah, he was over there on loan last year. He came back and he played for Mallorca at the weekend. They were local boys.
Good player, Domenech. Good player.
At San Francisco. They played in the first team for them against Paris Saint-Germain, actually. So so well done to them. So yeah, youth football's alive and kicking here. It
really is, mate. Which is really good. Is fantastic. Right, Rich, I think we're done, aren't we?
We are, mate.
Listen, I have a really good. Have you cheered up about the eclipse yet? Are you gonna go for it?
Or? Yeah. Someone comment? I'm the man of doom and gloom.
Well, one of my regular.
Ready for it.
One of our. I'm going to put mine on as well. Let's have a look. One of my our regular listeners said that last week's podcast was the best thing he's ever listened to, because we obviously didn't have a clue. He said, and then you had an expert on who wasn't an expert. So I said, listen,
he did very well. He did better than us doing it.
I thought he did very well. So anyway, I've got my glasses on.
Yeah, there you go. Infinity and beyond, Mark.
What a great way to leave it. Listen, Rich, have a good eclipse, and I'll speak.
Enjoy your eclipse. Take care, mate.
Make me dance.